What is going on, everybody? Welcome to GOALAZO here on FSI. I'm Alex Huber. Before we get into these GPP tips, tactics, picks, all of that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment. Just give the FSI guys some love going forward. This is actually my last GOALAZO for a while, as I had something come up that is going to preclude me from playing DFS. So we're going to go after a big weekend this weekend, try to get out of here with some money and have fun. But again, before I go and before we go today, please make sure you subscribe to the channel that's been so kind to allow me to do this and Tilt City, which I'll be back for on Sunday. But all right, so let's get into the slate. Saturday's 3-game slate. And we got some big home favorites all across the day. The Manchester City drubbing of Wolves is going to be its own match in the morning at 7:30 Eastern. So your 3 games, Liverpool minus 410, hosting Stevie G and Villa, who are plus 1,118. The over, the biggest on the slate here, over 3.25. Chelsea home to Leeds. Chelsea minus 357. Leeds plus 1083. Juice on the under here at 3. And Arsenal, the home favorite against Ralphampton. I tried to go for the joke and couldn't pronounce it. Southampton. Arsenal minus 149 at the Emirates. And Southampton plus 468. Also, juice on the under here as well. So when I just look at this screams to me, play the defenses of Liverpool and Chelsea, try to find the goals in Arsenal, Southampton, but we'll see what the prices say. Let's look at the lineups really quick. Here's that Arsenal-Southampton game. Kind of the same situation, same setup here as the last match. No Aubameyang expected to start. He always could. Kieran Tierney was great last game, kind of back to his old self. Same kind of across the way here. Martin Odegaard's been very involved. Broya instead of Che Adams in the expected lineups here. Kind of the same otherwise. James Ward-Prowse going to do his thing, although Nathan Redmond has stolen some sets. Wow, Willie Caballero expected in goal. Love to see it. All right. Liverpool Villa, probably the same thing for Liverpool, huh? Yep, same thing as you've been seeing. No surprises there. Villa, Ramsey was cheap last week. I haven't even looked at the slate, to be honest with you, yet. So I'm excited to see just how cheap Jacob Ramsey is. And I won't play him, it doesn't matter. Buendia out left, Watkins up the middle. McGinn and Louise is always interesting, but it doesn't matter. Those are the biggest dogs on the slate. Ashley Young, left mid, or left back rather, is interesting, but you don't really need to get to Villa. You may in GPP. All right, Chelsea. I'd be shocked to see Saul start again. Is Conte hurt? Wow. Yeah, well, based on that, it looks like Saul will start again. Actually ended up playing wing back, Champions League, left wing back, I believe, as Reece James kind of played a center defensive mid, but that was because Callum Hudson-Odoi was on. If you look at this lineup the way it is, this is how it would line up, and Saul would be kind of a bummer to play. But Mount, Werner, and Lukaku up front. For Leeds, Tyler Roberts back after his big weekend last week. Again, these are all just expected lineups, but not a whole lot of changes here. No Stuart Dallas. Oh, there he is. But Luke Ayling is back. So again, big dogs probably won't matter, but just keep an eye on Ayling and Dallas. And if you feel like you need to play either of them, you know what you're going to do. So, all right. So Salah is 10-8. Rafinha is still 9 against Chelsea. We probably won't go there. Saka 84 against Southampton. Before I dive further, I just want to see Trent Alexander-Arnold, only 8,000. Reece James, 7-7. And then Alonso 6-3. These are back to being playable prices. The 9,000 was still a little cheap, or a little expensive rather. So I'm just going to say most people are going to have Trent Alexander-Arnold in their lineup. So I'll just pop them in. Okay. Let's go through forwards as we do. Again, so kind of what I said was play one of the defenses, and honestly, I'd probably play Chelsea's. I would probably just go boom, boom, boom. Get a little savings. I mean, realistically, I would do that. But you don't have to do that. It's just an idea, because, if Chelsea scores 2 goals and it's Saul and I don't know, a sub or, another Rudiger goal, like you still have these guys who are going to make up the floor, and the other guys are going to be so low on that you don't necessarily need them. But another way to do that is just drop off of Alonso, or, just take Alonso and Alexander Arnold and play Rudiger, or play Saul or something like that. Just play one of the off-brand Chelsea players, and try and catch a goal that way. In GPP, that's going to be what works if it happens. But, it could just be Lukaku and Mo Salah scoring all the goals, and then you're sunk. So I hope you stayed with all that. That was a lot of thoughts in one little spot, but week 4, John. All right, so you need 2 goals out of Salah at that point. Rafinha got a score probably with how little of the ball Leeds can have. I know they want to play swashbuckling, attacking football, but against Chelsea, good luck. I don't see that going off very well. Jota, 87, per usual. Like Mane at 74, it's like the easiest play on the slate. That saves you so much. You only need 1 goal out of him. So I'm just clicking him. Saka 8-4 is fine. Probably low-ish owned. So that is what it is. Pepe won't play. Oh geez. Lukaku's 7-3. Werner 6-7. All right, I take it back. Like the cheap scorers are going to be Liverpool and Arsenal, or Liverpool and Chelsea guys. I would just full fade Salah. If you're playing 20 lineups, like play him in 5 max or something like that. But I mean, these guys are too cheap and I don't need to look at the goal scoring odds to know that the goal scoring odds aren't that much worse to justify the prices. Like just play these guys. I don't need to, like, who these guys are. I don't need to go over them. That's way too cheap a price. He's been hurt, and that's way too cheap a price. He hasn't been scoring relative to the other guys. Aubameyang, whatever. I'd play Werner instead. Martinelli at 6-4. If he starts, I like as well. Like that's what I was talking about with just play the Chelsea defense and then find the scores in the Arsenal Southampton game. Like Martinelli at 6-4 is great. Redmond, whatever. Minamino, if he started, that'd be great. Pulisic, if he started, that'd be great. Broha, if that's what ends up happening, 5-8, not going to be very highly owned. You can go to Thiago. Feel free to play Dan James or Tyler Roberts, wherever he is down here. If you're not playing Chelsea's defense, if you play Liverpool's defense, like go ahead and look for a Leeds goal. I think it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of leverage in that spot. I'm not going to be playing Ollie Watkins, but again, like you can play Ollie Watkins if you're playing the Chelsea defense. If you think Villa scores or think they have a shot to score. Adam Armstrong, good floor at 4-9, great spot. Like Southampton aren't that big of dogs against Arsenal. Arsenal just, coughed up a lead to that horrible Everton team, horribly beat up Everton team. They're not a bad team. They just got a lot of injuries, but like Adam Armstrong's a good finisher, and that price is nothing. 900 less than Mendy. Like that might be my favorite play so far. There's Roberts. Tella if he plays. Yeah, as far as forwards go, I mean, like Adam Armstrong, that's a layup. We're gonna get rid of him. We're gonna play Armstrong. I'm not gonna give you a whole lineup here, but all right, mid only. Mount, fantastic. I don't know. You're playing him more for goal upside at this point. Emile Smith-Rowe was not in that starting lineup at 8-2. He's been so good, I'd play him, but not in a rush. Odegaard's been very good at 7-6. I don't know that he's a core guy in this slate, but if you want to like trade off some floor, I mean, you're not getting much salary savings from dropping from Reece James to Martin Odegaard, or even from TAA. And like, obviously those two guys are much better players, but going to be low owned. And if you play, I think I skipped Lacazette. I didn't even see him in here. All right, I take it back. That's the best play of the slate. Get out of here, Armstrong. I'm playing Lacazette, playing both, like just interchange them. That's fine. But like in this case, I would just be like, here's Odegaard, wherever he is. Getting real close to building the whole lineup. All right, the fact that he's like so much more than James Ward-Prowse is asinine. But we can do this. See, you can't make this lineup, so don't get mad at me for showing the whole lineup. Can't do this anyway. All right, I'm a little scattered, but Harvey Elliott's out. Ross Barkley is he's not going to play, but Ward-Prowse is 6'7". Back to him really quick as I just kind of popped him in here. Not a huge ceiling. Plenty floor. At 6'7", you can afford it. Obviously, there's a lot of other floor guys here, but Lacazette, Armstrong, Ward-Prowse, and then whatever you can fit here, which would be kind of in this range. So, McGinn, sure. Milner's not going to play. I mean, Henderson's a cheap way to get to Liverpool in this lineup. Hemi Buendia at 4'9", not going to do much, but fine. You can get to Jorginho. There's your Chelsea goal. Douglas Luiz, if he's on sets, very cheap option here. You know, no one down here really stands out. There's Jacob Ramsey, 3'5". He's an attacking player. If you want to go wild, you can play him and get a big time forward. Fabinho, very cheap Liverpool exposure. Xhaka at 3'1". If you need a mega punt, you know, he's not an attacker, but sometimes he hits a screamer. Adam Forshaw, I've really enjoyed playing. He's been good for, you know, these mid prices. He's my favorite min price guy for the last couple of weeks, but obviously this is not a spot that I like him in. And the rest of these guys don't matter because I would just play Forshaw. All right, defense. I mean, Robertson and Alonso are interchangeable. Alonso, better offensive player, but you know, by how much? $400 apparently is the answer to that question. But if you need the $400, go with Robertson. If you're playing a Leeds guy and, you know, not Mendy, maybe play Robertson for that clean sheet equity. Like that's what separates them. It's not that big. I wouldn't waste my time on Nuno Tavares or maybe Kieran Tierney again. Like that's a decent, if you need 1100 to drop from Alonso to Tierney, that's fine. Stuart Dallas back on defense, but you know, not taking tons of sets, I don't think. 7 crosses against Brentford though. I mean, look at these game logs. He produces, so feel free. 4.9 is actually not a bad price, but it's Chelsea. You just have to know what you're getting. Livramento has dropped off. Arsenal's not that good, so you know, you can still roll with it. Azpilicueta plays on the wing. That's great Chelsea savings. I would much rather that than, well, not James necessarily, but Luke Ayling back. Again, bad matchup. I'm never afraid to play Van Dijk. I don't mind playing him as a center back. I don't know what Matip is, but he's probably going to be cheaper. There he is, 3.6. Just depends on which keeper you're playing. If you're punting down, then maybe just move Alexander Arnold up or something like that. Check out. Christensen always with the assist. You can go with another brace from Ezri Konsa. Could happen. Konate plays, that's very easy. All these guys are just pairing. I don't need to tell you to punt down at center back. Like, you know what you're doing. You need a goal. If you do play James Ward-Prowse and don't play Adam Armstrong, maybe play Jan Bednarek or something like that. pair that center back with the set taker, and that's a clear path to goal. All right. So Allison or Mendy, make your choice. Mendy's 100 cheaper, not going to make that much of a difference. The over-under is lower on the Chelsea match, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything for Leeds and Aston Villa. Ramsdale's not that much of a drop-off in price, but, you know, he'll save you some money. And he'll save you some ownership as well. He's going to be way less owned than the other two guys. I'd venture to say he'll be virtually unowned here. And then big savings down here. Eddie Martinez, 3.6. Meslier, 3.7. I would go with him. Although there's a chance that Martinez sees a ton of shots, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And then Willie Caballero, he really is going to start, huh? I wouldn't do that. He's good, but let me take that back. He's a keeper who has played in the Premier League before. And yeah, he ain't fresh though, so I wouldn't go there. That's it. I mean, straightforward slate. Again, like if you play solid, you need 2 goals. The rest of the goal scorers for Chelsea and Liverpool, like I would imagine Jota is again like pretty unowned. Mane probably will be semi-owned, but at that price, like you can get he and Lukaku and like not sacrifice much in your lineup. So you can play the floor guys here and then just guess on who might score. Just go for, throw a Thiago in there, throw a Jordan Henderson in there, throw a, I don't know, one of those guys. You know what I'm talking about, Jorginho. And then again, like the Adam Armstrong, the Broya, the I forget who was cheap on. Oh, Lacazette, cover boy probably. Like they're so easy to get to. Pack those floors, find some ownership leverage, but like pack those floors and just find some of those goals because you are very unlikely to need Salah unless he scores a hat trick, which he could, and you can plan for that as well. 20 lineups is a GPP thing. Like that's probably what you're going for. So I think it's a floor slate. I think it's a floor slate because the goals all look like they could be cheap. So prepare for the ones that aren't. Don't go overboard, and have a great Saturday. We'll see you Sunday for Tilt City. Take care.